Hey everyone, Olivia here. Today we're going to be making apple crumble and we're just going to jump right on into it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start off with 4 apples. I already cut and partially sliced some, but I'm just going to show you how to prepare the apples. So you want to cut into one with a big knife. I cut mine into 4s like this, and then I go in with a smaller paring knife. And I also have my garbage bowl, I call it here. Right now it just has apples in it, so that's why this is resting in there. And you're gonna go ahead and I sort of triangle the middle out. Now they do have apple cores, but I'm just doing this the old-fashioned way. Again, the newer you are at chopping apples like this, the more apples I would use, because a lot of times there's a lot of waste if you're not used to cutting apples. And then we're gonna go ahead and carve this last one out. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead with my peeler. This is just quicker and easier for me. Like I said, when I cut apples, I do normally have a lot of waste. So using the peeler lessens that waste and gives me more apple to work with. And it doesn't have to be perfect. There can be a little red on there. And then you're just going to continue peeling like that. Okay. Now that I got that all peeled, we're just going to go ahead and chop these into thinner slices. So I'll start off with this one. I make mine pretty thin only because I want it to cook quicker. I don't want the apples to be overcooked, or a lot of times what happens with apple pies and apple crumbles is the apple never fully cooks and then you have hard apple, and nobody likes that in pies or crumbles at all. So a good consistency, I would say, would probably be about that thick, at least for my apple crumbles, or you can do it about that thick, about 1/2 inch maybe. But again, I'm cutting pretty organically here. I think this is honestly the perfect first fall recipe. It's got all these yummy fall spices, and it's perfectly warm and ooey gooey for the fall season. Also remember to wash your apples before you begin slicing them and prepping them for your crumble. So now I went ahead and placed all the chopped apples into a bowl, and you're gonna get the juice of 1 lemon and you're gonna add it to your apples, and you're gonna start mixing. You want to cover all the apples with the lemon juice. And then you're going to go ahead, and I have about a tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of flour. Normally I would use cornstarch, but I'm all out of it, so flour it is. And then I have about a half a teaspoon each of cinnamon and apple pie seasoning, or apple pie spice. So you're gonna go ahead and add that. I'm gonna start mixing it. And now I have about a tablespoon of vanilla here. If you still think it's too dry, add a little bit more lemon juice or vanilla. I'm using lemon juice in this case. It smells so good. It smells like fall already. Making sure it's mixed very well. And then we're gonna let that sit while we prepare our strudel topping. So for our strudel topping, we're gonna take a half a cup of rolled oats, a half a cup of almond flour, we're gonna take 3 tablespoons of white sugar and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. So you're gonna take a half a teaspoon of apple pie seasoning, a half teaspoon of cinnamon, and you're gonna take about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And you're gonna go ahead and give it a little stir to get it all together. And then you're gonna take 1 stick of butter, and I pre-cubed it, and it's a little bit softened as well. Sometimes I melt this, but I want it to be kind of thick for the top. Now you're gonna go in with clean hands and start working it together. You want to work it together until all of the spices and oats form almost like a dough. And once it looks like that, it's ready. So I went ahead and I buttered this pan a little bit because I just do not want it to stick to my cast iron. I know that's kind of hard, you know, to happen, but I'm just being precautious. I'm just being cautious. So now you're gonna go ahead and add your apples into the pan. My sink is making noise. Now you're gonna spread it so it coats the entire pan. Shake, that'll do. All right. Now you're gonna take your streusel and you're gonna start spreading it across. I sort of like to layer the outside first. go. I'm just gonna, just so it all meets. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a recipe that's supposed to be imperfect, you know? It's not, it's supposed to be like home cooking, country type of feel. Okay, so now you're gonna go ahead and put it in your oven at 375 for about 40 to 45 minutes. Just make sure you watch it to see how the apples are cooking and whatnot. A good habit I've learned to keep while cooking is to clean while my stuff is cooking, or clean as you go. So that's what I'm gonna be doing while the apple crumble is baking in the oven. So I just pulled the apple crisp out of the oven. Okay, so now we're gonna scoop it up. We're gonna serve some ice cream with it. And it is going to be so good. All right, we're gonna try it. Is it good? Nope, can't really see Augie. Good?
Delicious.
So that's my apple crisp recipe, everyone. Thanks for watching.